Hey guys, Wano here and welcome back to another video. So I have been in the works of making creating a new video for my Budget PC series. I do one at least once a year to just give you guys an idea of what you can expect when you want to buy a real tight budget gaming PC. This will be targeted towards people who want to get the bare minimum while still being able to enjoy some games that they want to play, up to people who want to play esports titles such as Valorant, CSGO, Rocket League, etc, at decent-ish frames, and then others who would like to play some AAA titles but still being on a budget. But before we get into all of that, I want to say welcome to everybody who is new to the channel and welcome back to my fellow One Army subscribers. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as it will really help me out a lot. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over some pre-builds first, and then from that we're gonna work our way up to motherboards, graphics cards, CPU, RAM, storage, power supplies, coolers and monitors at the very last, just as an extra bit, and that will give us kind of an idea of what we can expect. As you could see, I didn't go with Woodware or EveTech with this one. I went with AC1Tech.co.za because they are in collaboration with me, or I'm in collaboration with them, and I really believe that this is an amazing site to have a lot of beautiful 5-star reviews, and it's just an amazing team. So I would really love to support them the way that they have been supporting me. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into pre-builds first. Like I said, what we are gonna focus on first is the AMD Ryzen 5 5600G Assault Gaming PC. Now, this is the cheapest possible one that you can find on this website when it comes to pre-builds. They have 7 in stock at the moment, but it is nothing short of powerful. Obviously, first things first, you have the Ryzen 5 5600G, which is a 6-core 12-thread processor, 3.9 gigahertz, which is just absolutely insane. And then we have the MSI A520 chipset motherboard. It comes with 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM and a crucial 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD with a 550 watt 80 plus power supply, which is more than enough for what you have right here. And it does have the built-in Radeon graphics with the 5000 series CPU. The reason I am looking at this one is not because it's future-proof, because it just unfortunately isn't, but this way we can get kind of an idea or a baseline as to what we can expect pricing wise and what we would like to do here. So first thing is you get this beautiful case with the Ryzen 5 5600G. This is the motherboard you will be getting. It's nothing fancy, but it does the job pretty well. And then you get some beautiful ballistics RGB RAM with it. And like I said, it is this FSP case that comes with it. Now, we are gonna put this on a Word document. Alright, we are not gonna talk about shipping at the moment because at the end of the video I'm gonna give you guys a code that you can use that will basically give you free shipping if you take something like this PC. It's actually just to get you a few % off your purchase price, but at the end of it, it does basically cover your shipping depending on how much you spend, and can even cover a little bit more. From there we're gonna move on and we're gonna actually put some stuff in our cart to see what we can expect if we buy everything just kind of as is here. Right, we're gonna set the low to high because obviously this is something that we need to do as we are going into a budget PC. First things first, we have the MSI A320M Pro. Keep in mind that I am choosing the absolute minimum that you can to get a decent budget PC. This is not at all future-proof. If you want to upgrade in the future with the newer parts that's coming out right now and in the following years, you are gonna have to get a decent motherboard that does support some of the newer chipsets. And even with the new Ryzen CPUs, it's coming out with a different chipset, and it's just everything's just going crazy. So just bear with me on this. Alright, we have the MSI A320M Pro. It's an AM4 Mini ATX gaming motherboard. It's basically the same one that I have at the moment, which, like I said, it does the job pretty well. The bad thing about this motherboard is you cannot really overclock on this motherboard, which kind of sucks. doesn't give you all that much to do. And once again, we have basically the exact same CPU that we're gonna pick here. It's a Ryzen 5 5600G. You can opt for the 5700G, but it's not gonna give you a massive boost in performance. So let's just go with the absolute minimum right here. The other one is 1300 Rand more, so let's just put this in the cart. I would actually recommend getting at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, because 8 gigabytes unfortunately is not enough to do everything anymore. You can play some games with it, but it's going to be a major bottleneck, especially in the very near future, with games getting more demanding and being crazy, and it's not going to keep up even with the Vega graphics that's on the 5600G. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to opt in for the Crucial Ballistic 16GB kit. It's a 3200 MHz kit. Should be more than enough for what you need to do. If you want to get RGB, have 500 or 400 Rand extra to spend, I would recommend doing that. It looks pretty cool, especially in a decent case. Moving on to storage, you do not actually need an M.2 NVMe SSD, but I would recommend getting one, as it is obviously quite fast, even compared to a normal SSD. It isn't to say that you do need that, especially because you can get a few other things that is pretty good, like this Patriot Burst Elite. It's a 240 gig, a normal SSD. It's only 100 Rand more than the 128 gigabytes. But we are still gonna just go with the 120 gigabyte just to get your operating system on that. And then we are gonna put a WD Purple. Actually, ironically, we're gonna take the little bit more expensive one, because the WD Purple is faster than the normal WD Blue, because it's made for video cameras instead of PCs. People might disagree with me here, but I have a WD Purple 4TB and it works fantastic. Power supply wise, you do not need a monster for a power supply. Alright, so we can go with the 500 watt non-modular power supply, the one from Antec. 400 watts is a little bit low. It's not too low for the spec that we're going right now, but the 500 watt is a good middle ground for what we need at the moment. Then cooler wise, you do not need an extra cooler at this point in time, but if you do feel like you do need extra cooler, there's definitely something to be had here. And even if we take the absolutely smallest, lowest case that we can, which is the Cooler Master Q300L Master Box, and this is a really small micro ATX case, which will be able to do its job, but still the cheapest one you can find, it will be 11,174 Rand. Now, with shipping, it depends on where you are obviously, but the shipping for me is 150 bucks. And at the end, the total is going to be 11,324 Rand. Alright, so for the person who has a little bit more to spend and want to play games at a pretty decent frame rate, but while still having a budget PC in the midst, I would go for the Ryzen 5 5600X Hailstorm gaming PC for 17,500 Rand. We have the 5600X. It's still a 6-core 12-thread processor, which is 3.7 GHz. It's an AM4 CPU with the MSI B550 chipset motherboard. This is the motherboard right here. It has a little bit better support than the other motherboard that I show you. Alright, we have 16 gigabytes of Crucial Ballistics gaming memory. We have a 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD with the cute Antec case going right here. And it's basically the same as the other one, except for the fact that you have the 5600X with the B550 chipset motherboard, the Antec case, and of course you have a GPU. It's the GTX 1650 4GB graphics card. Now this isn't the best graphics card that you can get. Obviously, like I said, we're going for a budget build. What we are aiming for here is a graphics card that it's weaker than the RX 570, but it's still better than the GTX 1050 Ti in terms of performance. It's actually a very competitive graphics card when it comes to the budget series. The AMD Radeon RX 6500 XT, it is coming out very soon. At some places you can already pre-order it or pre-buy it, whatever the case may be with that. But I would still recommend getting this pre-build as it has the graphics card in already. We can talk about the other graphics cards when it come out. Obviously with the RX 6500 XT, it's an okay graphics card for those who just want to do some nice gaming but it's a very, very crappy graphics card if you want to do some editing or streaming of any sort, since it has absolutely no encoders on the GPU. Moving on, we're gonna do this part for part once again. For the cheapest possible Intel motherboard, we're gonna go with the Asus Prime H510MD. It is a very, very budget motherboard. It does have PCI Express Gen 4, which is pretty cool considering it's a very new or newish technology. For Intel, we are gonna go with the cheapest possible one, which is the i5-11400F. It is a 2.6 GHz Core i5 processor, but it's still an extremely good one. And moving on to RAM, the Crucial Ballistics 16GB kit. Moving on to the storage, it's going to be the same as the previous time. It's going to be these two, just to give you some space for your operating system, while at the same time giving you some space to get some games. For now, we're going to move up to a little bit stronger power supply, because we are going to need a little bit more power to run some of the graphics cards that we are going to get. Let's move on to the Antec Atom B650 power supply. It is a 650 watts power supply. We still have the 1650 all around here. We can go with a nice 1650 D6 overclock, or we can spend 100 Rand more and get the 1650 Super, which is pretty strong. And for the PC case, you can go low to high again. You can choose the exact same one, or you can choose just a little bit bigger PC case right there with a little bit better airflow to have some nice space for all your stuff. Alright, so the subtotal for all this is going to be 15,434 Rand, and in this case, ironically, it's going to be cheaper than the Prebuild. Now, keep in mind that with the Prebuild, you have a CPU that is technically a lot better than the 11400F. The 5600X outperforms this one by a long shot, but this is all that you're going to need with that graphics card. Otherwise, you're going to have a bottleneck anyway. So now you kind of have an idea of what you can expect in 2022 in South Africa for a budget gaming PC. Now, the first two PCs that you can see right here on the Microsoft Word document is the absolute minimum budget gaming PC. This is for people who want to play some casual games. And then the Ryzen 5 5600X Hailstorm PC, and the i5 is for those who want to get just a little bit more frames out of it and maybe play some AAA titles at low 1080p settings, maybe even some at medium. For those of you who want to get a decent monitor, maybe you play some esports titles and you want to get the most out of your monitor and see if you can get something like a 144Hz screen, this is an amazing deal here. It's a MSI G24C4 24-inch 1080p 144Hz. It has FreeSync. It's a curved gaming monitor. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it's 1 millisecond. Now, you can arguably get some monitors out there for a little bit cheaper, but this obviously is a great brand. MSI is very well known for all their gaming components, and I don't think that you will have a miss with this. As I promised you, I will show you a way to get some discount on everything you buy. So let's say that you want to buy the build that we showed last and you want to add this monitor. You will see that the price is 20,183 Rand. Now, as you will see here, it says coupon code and apply coupon. And what you can do is you can just type in wanoplay like that, apply a coupon, and then you will see, if you scroll down, you have saved 400 Rand just by applying the coupon wanoplay. So now your price went down from 20,100 and something, which it was, to 19,782 Rand, which is insane. What you can also do is you can opt for the free shipping, because you have the graphics card right there, which I think gives you free shipping, and you can even save more by going down to 19,632 Rand, which is just absolutely insane. You save a lot of money. 400 bucks doesn't, or maybe doesn't seem like too much, but you do save a lot of money. So there you have it. And now you know what to do in 2022 with a budget gaming PC, or getting a budget gaming PC. With that being said, I thank you guys for watching. I will post every link that I should in the description down below, starting with the ac1tech.co.za. I do urge you guys to go check them out. They have amazing reviews, they have amazing customer support, and an amazing team working with that. Alright, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.